All right, so let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. It's kind of hot, so it might be if you have your feet down flat on the floor, about a hip's width apart. So, try and feel the soles of your feet through whatever surface it is you're on. Have your knees about a hip's width apart, shoulders aligned with the hips. And imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. So just lengthen your spine. And shoulders, align your shoulders with your hips and then your ears with the shoulders. So if you are sitting on a chair, you have a tendency to lean back, I would suggest you get a small towel and roll it up and put it at your upper thoracic area. Would be opposite your sternum. That will actually allow you to sit up in a nice aligned way. That's if you're not kind of feeling strong enough to hold yourself up. So you'd put your backside, your coccyx right against the back of the chair, then put this little roll of towel in your upper back, and that will keep you pretty much sitting upright. And just have your hands nicely relaxed in your lap. They can be either just resting on your thighs or in the traditional meditation posture like mudra. So right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. And there is some kind of energetic import to this particular mudra. And Lama Rinpoche used to talk about it being activating the bodhicitta channel. So there may be some energy points there. I'm not sure. As you can hear, I don't really know anything about it, but it's just what Rinpoche used to say. And so bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp and forehead and eyes and nose and cheeks and mouth and jaw, back of the tongue, back of the head. And just allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And then just allow your conscious mind to be aware of any sounds in your environment, either in your home or externally. And just allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then just notice the sensations of the air as you inhale and exhale through your nostrils. A little bit cooler as you inhale, slightly warmer as you exhale. And then just be aware of whatever it is that's arising in the mind right now. Virtuous, not so virtuous. And just allow the thoughts to be there, trying not to follow them with the mind, particularly the non-virtuous ones, like rumination, self-criticism, making up stories in our mind, and having an emotion about them when we don't even know if it's even true or if it's even going to happen. And take a step back and look objectively at what's going on in your mind. And just be aware that if you don't if you're not tracking those thoughts, if you're not following them or giving them any energy, creating more stories, the mind, it'll just kind of disappear. So we don't want to encourage all these kind of, deluded kind of thoughts, deluded kind of thinking. And some of it's habit energy, and some of it comes from previous lives, these habits we have. And then just bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, the ones we're not so keen on, and our strangers. Be aware they can all change place at any time. And they're all equal. They're all equal because everyone wants to be happy. No one wants to suffer. And everybody, yes, even the ones we don't like, have this capacity for Buddhahood. So we think with this particular practice, this practice of the Vajrasattva with the four opponent powers, in the context of the four opponent powers, we start by thinking that there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this goes for all those beings of your life, everyone. So in this way, we do this practice for all these beings, all these people of our life, and for ourselves as we're moving along our spiritual path. So we think no negativity that can't be purified. So we create negativity with our mind, so equally we can create positivity instead. So we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And we think of specific actions of both our body and our speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. So every action that we do creates a karma. That's what karma means, action. So our past actions, having harmed others, we will necessarily experience some kind of suffering in the future. So logically, it makes sense to remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So it's like, you weeding your garden. You want to just pull all those weeds out before they kind of grow into sort of a forest of weeds. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, and having broken my vows because I don't want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then we also regret any anger and attachment and the rest that is the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So then we come to this power of reliance. So we turn to this very precious Buddha, Vajrasattva. And we're not needing this Buddha to forgive us. This is not why we're here. We're using his medicine, his methods to heal ourselves, to pull out the negative karmic seeds before they ripen, to help us heal our minds. So imagine Vajrasattva is on the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. And he's made of just this beautiful, blissful, radiant white light. And he's sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. Has this beautiful, radiant face. And his arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. And the left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And there being cross represents enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have this little section about developing compassion. So this is why it's underneath the reliance heading. So we need to rely upon other beings in order to develop compassion. So the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. And then remember those who have harmed you, and we have compassion for them because the harm they've caused you is going to end up resulting in suffering for them sometime in the future. So make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and just think, I must purify for their sake. And now we come to the power of the remedy, and we start with the body. And just imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending powerful white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech. And it overflows, quite powerfully. I would hear some of Lamsa Rinpoche would talk about being strong enough to blow a hat off your head. So just imagine like that. Imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech, all of our inappropriate speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs, getting other people to agree with you, just all this kind of nonsense. And it's all purified by this powerful nectar filling you and overflowing from the top of the parts of the body. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe. And now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And that includes yourself, because you'll be hearing your own words. And next is the purification of our mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So, you imagine you walk into a pitch black room and you just flick on the switch and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So we often think about, I'll just walk in a room and turn on the light. But actually, in that process of flicking on the switch, you're actually dispelling darkness. So if you can think of it that way, next time you walk into a room, just think of it like that. And then for now, just imagine the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness, depression, anger, and bitterness, and grudges, and disappointments, and jealousies, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left. Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Ahumpe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And now think that there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time imagine that Vajrasattva sends light and nectar and it fills you completely and eradicates even those very, very subtle imprints of negative energy. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida me boa situkaya me boa sipokaya me boa Anorakta me boa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And so now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. And so here we just make a determination. We make a decision to refrain from harming. And so we can get specific about how we might want to go about doing that. So we might want to pin that down a little bit. So we might think about something, maybe we have a habit to gossip, or maybe we have a habit to sort of give ourselves a hard time. So maybe we just can set our phones, an alarm or a notification on our phone to remind us, okay, I'm going to, at midday, I am going to think about refraining from something for, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes. That's all it takes. Just consistency is key. And just making a decision. And then rejoice in your efforts. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on emptiness a little. So imagine in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, even if you just only know the word, just place your mind there for a moment. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They're just all a bunch of dependent arisings. They don't exist from their own side. And you can also maybe think the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. So let's just do our swift return verses. This is chanting the names of Manjushri for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation. Excuse me, great wish-fulfilling tree, most plentiful, the greatest of all great auspicious vases, fulfilling the aims of living beings, a doer, an ally, most beloved to all creatures, aware of good and bad, aware of times, the omnipresent knower of the pledges, upholding pledges, conscious of occasions, awake to varied aptitudes in beings, with expertise in threefold liberation, with virtues knowing Dharma, auspicious source of all auspiciousness, of all auspicious things, the most auspicious, great splendor, glory good, most prosperous. Okay, so let's have a strong wish for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama to be able to continue to keep teaching. He's 89 this year, very soon, in a few days. So then also just wish for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then make a strong wish for all of your own personal teachers to live long. Whoever it is you've made a contact with this lifetime, who's guiding you along the path. All right, everybody, lots of love. I will see you tomorrow night. And then one of the things I wanted to say is, given there's a bunch of people here who haven't maybe done this practice, I don't know if you've not done it before, or if you have any questions. What we did some time ago was we devoted an hour or two to just having a question and answer session with people who would just come along and, I don't understand this in the sadhana, or why do you do this, or what does the mantra mean, and like that. So I'll check in with Venerable Dundrup at Thupten Oberling and see if we can do something like that in August again, if people are interested. So just let me know if you'd like to do something like that.
Yes.
We can. Yes, okay. Good-o. I'll check in with Venerable Dundrup. All righty, thumbs up from Jordan. All right. Lots of love, everybody.
Yeah,
Sweet dreams, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Thank you, Venerable. Good night.